And good morning again, Colonel Padayachee.
Good morning, Council.
You should have before you a file, and separate, you would have a series of other bigger files. I would say for the moment, please don't worry about the bigger files. I want to draw your attention to the specific smaller file before you. And just to confirm as a start, you received Rule 3 notice from the Commission regarding certain allegations made, and in particular by General Mkhwanazi in his statement to the Commission and during his testimony, and you subsequently received a subpoena from the Commission in response to both of which you submitted statements. Do you confirm?
I confirm, Chair.
Now, in the small file that I referenced,
NPA Act and actively involved in what is known as state capture investigations. I attended several workshops on financial investigations, money laundering, tender fraud, FATF, cybercrime held by the NPA, IDAC, and Association of Accredited Fraud Examiners. The ID, as a result of the NPA Amendment Act, became the Investigative Directorate Against Corruption, a permanent unit within the NPA. I was appointed to a position referred to above by the President Cyril Matamela Ramaphosa on the 1st March 2022. The appointment was made in terms of Section 13(1)(b) of the National Prosecuting Authority Act. In February 2025, I was appointed permanently in the IDAC as a senior criminal investigator. I deposed to this affidavit in response to a notice issued in terms of Rule 3 of the Rules of the Judicial Commission of Inquiry into Criminality, Political Interference and Corruption in the Criminal Justice System, arising from the allegations made public by Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, the Provincial Commissioner of KwaZulu-Natal, on the 6th of July 2025. The notice requires me to deal with the following issues on which Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi testified. First, I was appointed to a senior position within IDAC despite lacking the required skills, experience, and qualifications. I have used my role to influence and control investigative outcomes, court proceedings, in particular the criminal charges against Lieutenant General Khumalo and his co-accused as related to the employment of Brigadier Mokwele. I deal with the issues identified above later in this affidavit. Before I do so, there are various issues I need first to deal with if my answers to the issues identified above are to be sensible. Thus, I have structured this affidavit as follows. First, I deal with the allegation that I was appointed to a senior position within IDAC despite lacking the requisite skills, experience, and qualifications. Second, I use my role to influence and control investigative outcomes, court proceedings, in particular the criminal charges against Lieutenant General Khumalo and his co-accused. Third, I conclude. The appointment, skills, experience, and qualifications. I have already pointed out when I was appointed to IDAC and how long I had previously been involved with investigations at the time. In what follows below, I intend to expand on these aspects. Insofar as Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi suggested that I'm not qualified for my job, I've attached annexure marked BP1, a copy of my certificate for a detective course that I successfully attended in 1998. For the sake of completeness, I have also attached annexure BP2, a copy of the allocations of points awarded to me during the detective course. It is worth mentioning that I was awarded the honor of being the top student in my class upon the conclusion of the detective course. I have extensive management experience and operational experience spanning over a period of 44 years. The statement says 43. At the time it was made, it's 43. It's now 44 years of my law enforcement career. During this period, I completed various investigative courses and attended various investigative workshops on investigations. I have completed 2 investigative courses hosted by the United States of America and France. These courses enhance my operational, investigative, and management skills. The courses and workshops I attended to also included fraud, money laundering, financial investigations, a project approach to specialized investigations, crime intelligence, undercover investigative techniques, counterterrorism, and financial investigations. I have attached 2 copies of these certificates marked Annexures BP3 to BP10. Commissioner, I have a diploma in police administration. It was awarded to me in 1992. I have attached a true copy of my certificate in this regard. It is marked BP11. It remains to indicate that it is graded NQF level 6. I also have a national certificate in police administration awarded in 1985 and a national higher certificate policing awarded in 1999. It is marked BP12 and BP13. Now I'm at this point. I'll also make available and attach the advert in response to which I was appointed. It is marked BP14. Thus, I put it up front that the allegations that I was appointed to a senior position within IDAC in the circumstances where I do not have the requisite skills, experience, and qualifications is void, empty, and bereft of a factual foundation. It is baseless. Before my appointment, I have been involved in many successful criminal investigations. It is appropriate for me to mention a few. At the time of my appointment, I investigated and/or had previously been involved the Inchanga massacre in the year 2000, so involved that I received a commendation from the Provincial Commissioner of KwaZulu-Natal. See annexure marked BP15. The Plesisla Project Task Team. During the violence in the Eatondale-Plesisla area in KwaZulu-Natal, there were many people accused in the cases that I am the lead investigator will therefore be ventilated appropriately by the courts seized with hearing these matters. I was surprised when General Mkhwanazi mentioned my name in his press briefing, and again during his testimony during the commission. This is because I had prior telephonic contact with him long before his press briefing. In actual fact, Commissioner, just to pause there, when General Mkhwanazi stood on that podium at the press briefing and he spoke about corruption, I was applauding him. He is one of, in the 44 years that I've been in the service and in law enforcement, he is one of the best that addresses corruption and crime directly. So I applauded him. Not only had I had contact with him prior to his press briefing, just to recap, sir, I had prior telephonic contact with him long before his press briefings. Not only had I had contact with him prior to his press briefings, I had the occasion to interview him. He also provided me with an affidavit in support of one of the IDAC investigations related to crime intelligence investigations. I cannot disclose the details of General Mkhwanazi's affidavit, nor provide same to the Commission, as the matter is still under investigation. To substantiate my contact and communication held with Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, I attach here 2 screenshots of the messages and phone calls held with General Mkhwanazi prior to and after he provided me with the affidavit. They are marked BP19 and BP25.
Colonel, I've gone through all 7 texts. They appear to be neutral in content. You say you are traveling to Durban and that you would like to meet, and a few of the chats then mention where you are and you inquire where his office is. It's that kind of conversation, and he of course is responding.
Yes.
Also in that neutral manner.
Yes.
What I'm interested
in the time that we spent in his lounge, I'm invited to his home, not to his office the second time, to his home. So the scenario itself tells you the trust in your home, where your family is. So what I'm saying, the Commissioner, he was aware, he had no problems with what we were doing. And when the arrest, the second arrest, or the second takedown operation on the second matter, we have several case dockets and several matters that we were busy at that stage that we're going to follow in a sequence. So the first matter commenced, there was going to be a break, a second matter would have commenced, a break, then a third matter would have commenced. When the second matter commenced, I was not involved in the arrest of the accused. but I was at the police station. I need to mention, Commissioner Chase,
The first matter, is that the one where you say,
BP 25.
I've gone through all 7 texts. They appear to be neutral in content. You say you are traveling to Durban and that you would like to meet, and a few of the chats then mention where you are, and you inquire where his office is. It's that kind of conversation. And he, of course, is responding,
Yes.
also in that neutral manner.
Yes.
What I'm interested in is what you are seeking to establish by providing us with these texts.
Thank you, Chair. The WhatsApp messages
Yes.
and the interactions shows the type of communication we had. The reason being is that we had communication, we have an understanding, we have a working relationship, we know each other. The communications don't come across as, like how it is now, if I can say. These were approachable conversations. During these conversations, he told me where he was. I met him. He was outside the provincial commissioner's office. He had his short pants next to his white bucky, hands in the pocket. I had my hands in my pocket too, although he was a general, and we were chatting. We thereafter proceeded to his office where we had a conversation with regards to what I required of him. From there, at the later stage, we met again, this time at his house, where we had the same conversation. And I had his affidavit. I ran him through the affidavit of the first conversation when we first met, what it's all about. The affidavit was prepared. We discussed the affidavit. The affidavit concerns a Major General who's one of the suspects in my cases, and what was outlined in his affidavit. He looked at the affidavit, he confirmed the affidavit, he signed the affidavit. What's more, when you look at the WhatsApp messages, you can see the greetings. You can see the friendliness in the greetings. A blessed Easter. Hi, Brian, first name. Blessed Easter to you and your family. It's not ordinarily how a senior ranking officer will address a subordinate. It will be official, whatever. But you can see the way we are interacting and relating to each other. During the time at his house in Mzansi, in his home, we had a cordial chat about corruption and everything that's going. And I was always in praise of him because we had met on numerous occasions before. And in that particular meeting, Commissioner, he was aware, because I told him General Khumalo is going to be arrested. He was aware also that other generals were going to be arrested too as well. And his response to me, well, they must face their own situations. He was comfortable. There was nothing abnormal. He was not angry, anything. And we sat in the lounge for quite some time. And then after he wished me well, everything, and I took my leave. So not very long after that, or a while later, the operation on the first matter commenced, which resulted in the arrest of 4 senior officers from crime intelligence. Everything was fine. There was no issues.
Are you perhaps suggesting that if there was anything the matter, you would have expected him to react differently to you?
You say who decides who to charge and what the charges will be? Who does that? I think I missed that. If you don't mind.
Maybe I must just elaborate on that.
Yes.
When a complaint comes in via a Section 27 referral, that referral is taken by the intake committee, which decides whether this falls within the mandate of IDAC, whether all the legal prescripts, everything is there. That referral is then a Section 2813. If it falls within the mandate, and if it still needs more information, a preliminary investigation in terms of Section 2813 is authorized. So from that, there's a team gets designated. That team consists of investigators, criminal investigators, financial investigators, and prosecutors, meaning your state advocates. And then leading that team, you will have a deputy director of public prosecution who's responsible for that. So in terms of prosecution, the investigators do the investigation, but in terms of the prosecution, it is guided by the prosecutors. They decide on the evidence, the investigation and evidence collected, who to charge and what to charge. It's followed by another level, which is the Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions and other senior advocates who look at the evidence to support the charges and the accused.
Did you say this one was a referral? Did you say this one was a referral?
Yes.
Thank you.
A referral.
Thank
This
you.
matter came under a referral in terms of Section 27 of the MPA Act. Thank you, sir.
Who referred it?
The Section 27 referral came from a Member of Parliament, Mr. Fadil Adams.
Thank you.
Just a follow-up question. Good morning, Colonel.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Was that referral in terms of Section 27, which requires that it be on oath, on affidavit, or affirmed declaration?
As far as I know, that it's an affidavit that is submitted.
You have seen it personally?
Yes, sir. I've seen it now, and it also forms part of the bundle that was handed to Council.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. Colonel, that then leads us to paragraph 2.3 of the subpoena, which required you to address, quote, allegations concerning your role in interference in criminal investigations and prosecutions, unquote. And I think you deal with that issue together with paragraph 2.4. So I'll put what paragraph 2.4 of the subpoena stated so that you can answer them together as you do in your statement. At paragraph 2.4 of this subpoena required you to address the, I quote, the effect of such conduct on the functioning integrity. You say who decides who to charge and what the charges will be? Who does that? I think I missed that. If you don't mind.
Maybe I must just elaborate on that.
Yes.
When a complaint comes in via a Section 27 referral, that referral is taken by the intake committee, which decides whether this falls within the mandate of IDAC, whether all the legal prescripts, everything is there. That referral is then a Section 2813. If it falls within the mandate, and if it still needs more information, a preliminary investigation in terms of Section 2813 is authorized. So from that, there's a team gets designated. That team consists of investigators, criminal investigators, financial investigators, and prosecutors, meaning your state advocates. And then leading that team, you will have a deputy director of public prosecution who's responsible for that. So in terms of prosecution, the investigators do the investigation, but in terms of the prosecution, it is guided by the prosecutors. They decide on the evidence, the investigation and evidence collected, who to charge and what to charge. It's followed by another level, which is the Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions and other senior advocates who look at the evidence to support the charges and the accused.
Did you say this one was a referral? Did you say this one was a referral?
Yes.
Thank you.
A referral.
Thank
This
you.
matter came under a referral in terms of Section 27 of the MPA Act. Thank you, sir.
Who referred it?
The Section 27 referral came from a Member of Parliament, Mr. Fadil Adams.
Thank you.
Just a follow-up question. Good morning, Colonel.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Was that referral in terms of Section 27, which requires that it be on oath, on affidavit, or affirm declaration?
As far as I know, that it's an affidavit that is submitted.
You have seen it personally?
Yes, sir, I've seen it now, and it also forms part of the bundle that was handed to Council.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. Colonel, that then leads us to paragraph 2.3 of the subpoena, which required you to address, quote, allegations concerning your role in interference in criminal investigations and prosecutions, unquote. And I think you deal with that issue together with paragraph 2.4. So I'll put what paragraph 2.4 of the subpoena stated so that you can answer them together as you do in your statement. At paragraph 2.4 of this subpoena required you to address the, I quote, the effect of such conduct on the functioning integrity.
So let me get back. So Commissioner
I
Kumalo,
want to understand. No, when Commissioner Kumalo was engaging you, you spoke about a lead investigator and about a docket carrier.
Yes.
Now, when Commissioner Baloyi is engaging you, you are referring to a criminal what?
Chief criminal
investigator. I want to know whether this is a third functionary or whether it's one of the two you've mentioned already. Is the chief criminal investigator one of the two you mentioned earlier, or is it additional? Is it a third functionary?
you have the criminal investigators, the senior criminal investigators, and the chief criminal investigator in that investigation team. But I think just to get to Commissioner Kumalo, I look at myself as not a lead investigator. I look at myself as a docket carrier. But for the sake of it, lead, docket carrier, one and the same thing. I'll accept it as that way, sir.
Colonel, I'm talking about a specific case, and
Yes.
that is a case involving the appointment of now Brigadier Mokwele, not the structure within IDEC. So just focus on this specific case. In this specific case, what was your role? Were you the docket carrier or were you the lead investigator in this specific case?
In this specific case, to be clear on it, Commissioner Kumalo, it's not the structure of IDAC that I'm explaining. It's in the investigation, the designations. You have a chief criminal investigator that designation is the investigation of the Mkhwanazi case. So in the Mkhwanazi matter, in terms of investigators, you have appointed investigators, criminal investigators, and a chief criminal investigator. So the chief criminal investigator is responsible for the senior criminal investigators and the investigators. So coming back to your question, that the lead investigator or the docket carrier is myself. Yes. But I report to all my work and everything that is done has to pass through the criminal investigator, chief criminal investigator.
And that would be Mr. Perumal.
That would be Mr.
And
Perumal.
who designated you? Was it Mr. Perumal or Advocate Johnson?
Advocate Johnson.
I must say that up to this point, your testimony was a bit confusing on this aspect as to the investigators. Earlier, I thought you were emphasizing the fact that you were not the lead investigator and that you were just the docket carrier. But in the end, in response to Commissioner Kumalo's last question, you now say you were both the docket carrier and the lead investigator.
Yes, I know. I understand.
Basically, you are contradicting yourself. Can you give us the final word? Are you going back on what you said earlier, which was laying emphasis on you merely having been, or being, because I think this is continuing, merely being a docket carrier and not the lead investigator? Are you going back on that now, and are you now saying you are both the docket carrier and lead investigator? Is that what we must understand your testimony to be?
Commissioner, I think that's the way we must understand it and take it. The lead investigator who's carrying the docket. And that's what I settled at, Commissioner. for clarity's sake.
All right, thank you.
Apologies, Commissioner Kumar.
Thank you, no problem. Simply go ahead with the investigations. In terms of Section 27, it would have had to be satisfied that there were reasonable grounds to suspect that a specified offense has been committed. That's what Section 27 says in so many words. So you don't just get into a matter and as you go along, you end up finding that there is indeed something here. And you end up formulating charges and you commence a prosecution. That's not how you do it. You must be satisfied at the point of entry when the person comes to make a Section 27 referral. You must be satisfied that there are reasonable grounds for the person's suspicion. Yes. Is that what happened here? Or did IDEC just take on the matter once Mr. Adams came to you to complain about the lack of progress?
The allegations made by Mr. Adams was serious.
No. This is not about the seriousness of the offenses. The antecedent question is there in existence or are there in existence reasonable grounds for the suspicion that a specified offense has been committed? You don't start at the tail end, which is, but are these serious allegations? The entry point is this person coming to make a Section 27 referral. Does this person have reasonable grounds? And testing reasonable grounds is objective. So you don't rely on what the person says. The question is, objectively, when I look at this, are there indeed reasonable grounds for the suspicion? So that's where my question is. You do not, as you seem to suggest, look at the tail end. Are these serious allegations? And if they are, we go ahead. There may be serious allegations, but serious allegations may be unfounded. Yes. Do you get what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So there must be reasonable grounds for suspecting that a specified offense has been committed, and obviously, or implicit in that, is that the offense has been committed by the person complained against.
Yes, sir.
Do you follow me?
Yes, sir.
Can you now respond?
Yes, sir. That referral was sent to the case committee. They looked at that referral. They made a decision that it falls within the IDEC space. So the decision on accepting it, and that it has grounds, reasonable grounds or whatever, that reasonableness, the grounds, is determined by that committee that sat there and made that decision, sir. That's the most that I can say on that.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Law.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair.
Sir, when you say you had reservations, Colonel, it suggests reservations about malfeasance. That's what it suggests. Your explanation now about General Khan simply relates to promotion issues. How did he become a colonel, rather a general from colonel instead of being a brigadier first? That's a different reservation from the first impression that you create when you say, I had reservations about some of the things that at crime intelligence.
Yes.
Do you want to elaborate on that?
Let me put it into perspective as I indicated on my Zondo affidavit. There were many things that took place during, and as mentioned by Mkhwanazi, which I support what he says about the corruption within crime intelligence. The possibility of being promoted from a colonel to a general, during that corrupt era, it was possible because you had people being recruited into a system. Some of them worked at supermarkets or wherever that came into the police, and at a later stage it was uncovered that they came in on the rank of a captain. So, and a prominent person's wife was also promoted to a full colonel within the system. So when you look at it, is it possible that it can happen? Yes, it did happen. It did exist during those times. But the manner in which it was done is questionable. But there is provisions for it under deviation in terms of the SAPS regulations, where people can be a deviation from advertising a post and promoting a person. But to go and skip ranks, there are other people too as well that also went from colonels to brigadier to generals. It is that system, or that what happened there, especially starting at CI, that has put us where we are today, with a system that has become so corrupt, where people are just willy-nilly promoted. Because you've got to ask yourself, so I have a question. On what basis did that promotion take place? Here you have people that are sitting 20, 30 years in a particular rank with expertise, experience, hardworking, and suddenly somebody comes in and a while later they are made a general. And in that environment, now we're talking about people that have been there for 20, 30 years. And you're talking about somebody that has just come in there and he's there for a couple of years. That's my input there, sir.